Hello, brothers and sisters, and hello to anyone new to my channel. Through these last 3 or 4 years, the Lord has been focusing on getting his body purified and ready to be taken up to heaven with him. He's been separating his true followers from the lukewarm and from the world. He's called us to come away from all worldly things so that we may be holy and spotless. This is why he called many to get their houses in order. That command was about your spiritual house. Last week on Monday night, December 13th to 14th, the Lord laid the idolatry of Christmas very heavily upon my spirit. He does not want his children celebrating the holiday. For the past several years, he has caused me to become more and more disgusted with the holiday and with the way it is celebrated. Though everyone says Christmas is about Jesus, no one mentions the name of Christ. No one prays and gives him thanks for coming into this world and for giving us the gift of salvation. No one sings songs to him in his honor. No one does the works of Christ in giving to the less fortunate and the homeless. When, how, and where are they honoring Jesus during the holiday season? The holiday is supposed to be celebrated as his birthday. At least, that is what we're told in Christianity. But usually, when you celebrate someone's birthday, the celebration is all about them and for them. The host and the guests of the party usually sing happy birthday to the person whose birthday it is. They may tell stories about that person or say something about how they've been inspired by that person, and then they give gifts to the person. But no one does this in honor of Jesus. His supposed birthday celebration is not really about him or for him. Instead, we put up a tree and decorate it. We work all the hours we can work to buy gifts for those who don't really need them. We bake holiday cookies and pies. People drink to get drunk. We sing songs of Santa Claus and the bells that jingle on his sleigh, or about his brand new bag, or just about the holiday cheer and the gifts that we receive. But the Lord rebukes this tradition and worship of the tree, the Santa Claus, and the consumerism. People spend money on needless desires, and they lust for more material things as they spend more time working and away from home, so they can afford their toys and trinkets. These acts are idolatry, and he says, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." That is Exodus 20:3. The Christmas holiday is not about or for Christ, and nowhere in the Bible does it say anything about celebrating birthdays. So where does this come from? There is a legend that says Nimrod, the great-grandson of Noah, had a wife by the name of Semiramis. She was like Eve or Jezebel. She influenced him to rebel against God and build the Tower of Babel. Semiramis was a worshiper of the sun, moon, and stars. She was likely the one who influenced the world to begin worshiping the creation rather than the creator. This legend also tells that Semiramis got pregnant shortly after Nimrod died, making her pregnancy the original immaculate birth. And she told everyone that Nimrod had not died, but transformed into the sun. So the people began worshiping Nimrod as the god of the sun. This was likely the beginning of the belief in reincarnation. For those of you who are new to Christianity, the Word of God says, "It is appointed once for man to die and then the judgment." Hebrews 9:27. There is no such thing as reincarnation. We do not die and come back as birds or butterflies or some other creation. We live the life that we have been given, and when it is our appointed time to die, we go into our eternity. When Semiramis gave birth, she had a son that she named Tammuz on December the 25th. This was not only the beginning of the sun worship, but it was also the original story of the child born on December the 25th by Immaculate Conception. Semiramis was the original Mary. However, there was only one woman whom God granted pregnancy to as a virgin, and that was Mary, the mother of Jesus. When the Hebrews were taken into captivity into Babylon, they learned the Babylonian ways and the Babylonian stories and culture. So when they changed their calendar from the one God had taught Enoch to observe and teach the people, They named one of their months the month of Tammuz. On the Babylonian calendar, the month of Tammuz was December in honor of the child of Semiramis. On the Hebrew calendar, the month of Tammuz became the fourth month, which corresponded to the fourth month on God's calendar also being December, but was later changed to the month between June and July, with this month beginning in mid-June and ending in mid-July. Jesus was not the one who was born on December the 25th. It was Tammuz, the son of Nimrod, the first Antichrist of the world. Jesus was likely born in the month of September, which is the month of Tishri on the Hebrew calendar. This is the month with Virgo, the Virgin, as the month's constellation, which is the image of the Revelation 12 sign and the sign of the rapture. The month of Tishri also celebrates the Feast of Tabernacles, which is about living in booths or tents, and is the celebration of Jesus living among the people, being our tabernacle. And if that isn't enough to make you a believer, when Mary and Joseph went looking for a place for Mary to give birth, the farmers' livestock were sleeping outside instead of in the barns at this time. That means the weather had to be warm and not cold. December 21st is winter solstice. The Germans call this a Yule feast. This is where the Yule log comes from. Many cultures had different ways of celebrating this, but it is clear it is a celebration of sun worship. This is the second cultural celebration around Christmas that revolved around sun worship. And I'm saying sun as in S-U-N, not S-O-N. Decorating a fir tree was also a part of this celebration. The Romans celebrated the winter solstice on December the 25th. They worshiped the sun god, Sol Invictus. The next celebration revolving around the time of Christmas is the Feast of Saturnalia. This was a celebration of worshiping the god Saturn between December the 17th and the 23rd. Some say it extended to the 25th. This was also a Roman tradition. They exchanged gifts and had a feast, much like we do. They also practiced role reversals where women dressed like men and men dressed like women. Also, the servants became the masters and the masters became the servants during the celebration. The celebration of Christmas was actually invented by the Catholic Church of Rome, as was the celebration of Easter. Neither of these celebrations are biblical. The English began celebrating the holiday in drunkenness, promiscuity, and gambling. The Puritans of the 1600s banned the celebration of Christmas because it wasn't biblical and because there was a lot of sinful revelry taking place. The invention of Santa Claus also came by the Catholic Church. It was later discovered that Santa is an anagram for Satan. Satan and Santa are both depicted as wearing red suits, and Satan is also depicted with claws. Santa Claus or Satan with claws. Santa Claus is also connected to an Old Norse mythology of a demon god called Odin, who lived in the far north. He was the father of Thor. Yes, the hero that we see in comic books. However, comic book heroes are not heroes at all. But that is for another study and another time. Another figure linked to Santa Claus comes from Central and Eastern Alpine folklore, and his name is Krampus. He is an evil demon who comes for the bad children on Christmas Eve, and he punishes them while Santa visits the good children and rewards their behavior with gifts. It is unknown how the folklore of Krampus came about, but it is believed that he represents the devil. The entire idea of Santa Claus is only to serve as a caution to little children that they must behave or they will be on Santa's naughty list and not get any presents. However, Santa has become a god in Christian and non-Christian cultures. He is worshipped in idolatry, which causes parents to lie to their children, making them believe in a figure that doesn't exist. As you can see, the early celebrations of Christmas were about worshiping false gods, decorating fir trees, giving gifts, and indulging in all manner of sin. It is still like this today. It was never about the birth of Jesus and worshiping our Creator, and it is not about that now. So if you have given your life to Jesus Christ, and if you are truly seeking Him and following Him daily, separate yourself from this demonic and sinful holiday. Your participation in it is not pleasing to Christ. We don't need a holiday to worship Him and thank Him for what He has done for us. We should be worshiping Him and thanking Him every day. Jesus is coming for a holy and spotless bride, and He does not want to see His bride participating in worldly celebrations and in things that are not of God. If the whole world is doing it, you, the believer and follower of Christ, shouldn't be. You must separate yourself from all worldly things. Romans 12:2. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. John 15:19. If you were of the world would love its own. Yet because you are not of the world, but I chose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. 1 John 2:15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Colossians 3:2. Set your mind on things above, not on things on the earth. Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Ephesians 5:11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. Jeremiah 51:45. Come out, my people, flee from Babylon, save yourselves, run from the Lord's fierce anger. Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. And finally, Jeremiah 10:2-4. Do not learn the way of the Gentiles, do not be upset at the signs of heaven, for the Gentiles are upset at them. For the customs of the people are vain, for one cuts a tree from the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They decorate it with silver and gold. They fasten it with nails and hammers, so that it will not topple. In case you don't know, Jeremiah was speaking against those who celebrated the winter solstice. They worshiped the sun, moon, and stars, centering their lives around the creation of God, and they decorated a tree in honor of the celebration. They still do this today, by the way. God has warned, let this be your very last celebration of Christmas. Let it go in the ways of the Gentiles. Pray that you are counted worthy, spotless, and ready to leave this world behind. God bless each and every one of you. Shalom. Don't forget to check out my website, godswordevangelism.org. I post videos there, including the ones that I can't post on social media. I also post all of my community content there for those who use a YouTube app that doesn't feature community content. And I share other content there that cannot be shared anywhere else. godswordevangelism.org is interactive. You can create a user account or you can log in with your already created Google account, and you can post messages on each of the video pages just like you do here. In the world of the pandemic, a lot has changed, and we need a place to go where our voices can be heard and we are not censored. For me, that place is godswordevangelism.org. Please join me. I look forward to seeing you there.